Hi guys. I wanted to talk to you today about something that I think as artists, whether you're a writer, a journaler, a bookmaker, a junk journal maker, a mixed media artist, a collage artist, no matter what kind of creative type of person you are, I think there's all times when we hit a wall or a slump or something like that that causes us to kind of lose our mojo. Honestly, my studio, and I did a video recently, my studio's bothering me. The fact that I couldn't work at all for a while because of my shoulder surgery, that's kind of bothering me. But let me preface anything I say throughout the rest of this video with the fact that no matter what you do, you just need to keep doing it. Even if it's bad, if you don't think it's good, it doesn't matter. If you just keep doing it, eventually you'll come out on the other side where you're back to having your mojo. I've been a creative person my whole life, but I have actually made my living as a creative person for more than 20 years. So that means that I've had slumps, many of them, and sometimes they're really bad. With beads, it doesn't matter. I just kept going. I kept making. There might be weeks where all I made was spacers. That didn't matter. I was still producing something. If you are a writer, just keep writing. If you do collage or mixed media, just keep doing it. All right, with collage and mixed media, one of the nice things is that piece can just go back another day and you can add another layer to it. With a painting, you know, if really in a month from now you really think it's bad, you can paint over it. But this video is about some of the things that I do, some of the books that I look at, read, and have in my arsenal against those slumps. And since I've been doing this a long time, these are some of my favorites. Some of these I actually have gotten recently because I always pick up something, even if I'm not in a slump and I see something that I think might help my creativity down the road or teach me more about myself, I pick it up. I have reread this book many times. This is Steal Like an Artist. Side projects and hobbies are important. This is something I learned very, very early on with bead making, because my job was bead making, and it was a job after a while. It was not necessarily fun anymore. So you have to have those things. This is a really fun book. This is a really important statement. Step away from the screen. Computers can really suck your time away, and you're not really being creative unless you're a digital artist. This book has a lot of really interesting little things in it. It has a lot of good ideas. It just great quotes. This is something else that's important. You need to take care of yourself. I do look at this book off and on. I've reread it many times. And Steal Like an Artist by Austin Kellon. It's really a good book. This is called Caffeine for the Creative Mind, and it's actually exercises. It's not a book I've read through completely, although I've had it for a while and have used it and picked it up many times. I haven't read it cover to cover. sometimes books like this are not ones I do that with. But it has some very interesting like exercises in it. Gives you an idea. Creativity is a muscle. That's a really good idea behind it. But it actually gives you some things. Your task today is to create just such a ride. You're going to create a theme park ride wrapped around your favorite fast food chain. Okay. All right. Now, you don't have to do this. You just don't have to draw it. You just have to think about it. Okay. That's one of the things that some of these books deal with. If you stop and think, sometimes you can get past some of the things that your mind is locked up in. This is the Crafter's Devotional, 365 days of tips, tricks, and techniques for unlocking your creative spirit. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't tell you the author on this one. It's Stephen. I can't ever read that handwriting. Stephen McMahon and Wendy Oldfeld. This is the Crafter's Devotional. It's called 365 Days. It's by Barbara Call. And it has things in it like, again, words to inspire voyage, the meaning of color. There again, this is another one I haven't read cover to cover, but I've often read it and read sections of it, or looked at it and picked out something that I can play with or try. This one actually has techniques and projects in it to some extent that you might want to try, like leaf printing. Okay. It has artist interviews, round robin. That's sometimes hard when you're in the middle of a slump. But it gives you some projects and ideas, even if they're not something that you would normally do. Sometimes that helps to get you out of your stuck spot. Mermaids and other mystical creatures. 10 reasons I don't think I would make a good mermaid. Can't hold my breath long enough. I don't swim very good. I'm chubby. I would scare the fish. They would scare me. I wouldn't be anything good that has the word maid in it. M-A-I-D. I don't have long hair. I don't sing very good. My watercolors would run and my boobs would get cold. So, you know, that's a very interesting project. So this one again is a good spot, and I have collected these books over years. So don't think you need to run right out and grab all these books. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that sometimes if you are stuck, sometimes grabbing a book that either you have in your stash or you have that you need to look at. The library has lots of books, guys. So, you know, try the library. This is a series of books by Julia Cameron. This one is called The Artist's Way, and this one's called Finding Water. I've actually read these two books from cover to cover, and I have tried, and I mind you, tried to work through the projects in this book. I can't tell you that it's the project that works for me. However, always when I get really, really, really stuck and I go back to this book, and I start in on their projects and I find it's not working for me, I find other things that are working for me. So this is an option. This book has been around for years. There's probably a reprinting on it by now for sure. There are actually online groups that get together and work through this book together. At one time I did do that. I didn't find it helpful. Yes, because my copyright on this is 2002. So I'm quite sure this book has been reprinted many times. Definitely, if you're going to try this book and you want to take a look at it, definitely start with The Artist's Way. She's a writer. She's not a painter or something that's that involves messiness, but like me. But I do journal every day. I do also find that when I hit one of my super slumps, my journal gets left without anything written in it. So that is one of the reasons why when I've hit one of those really bad spots, I come back to this book, because one of her big things is to do morning pages, which means to mind dump all of your morning thoughts for 3 full pages. You just have to keep writing. That's as you can see, I've used it. I really have used this. But then I've had it for years, and it's been one of those things that I have come back to, even though I don't know that it works for me. It actually, in some ways, makes me see what doesn't work for me. And when you can see what doesn't work for you, sometimes that means that you can see what does work for you. That's what I'm trying to get at with this. And this book, I don't think I've read it all the way through. I've read into it, and I honestly have not tried to work through this one. This was something I found somewhere along the way that I didn't pay full price for, like maybe at a thrift store or library book sale or something like that. I'm not sure. There's another book called Walking in This World. She has a whole series of books, and they're all about working through problems with your creativity. So they are a good series of books. Another thing that you can do when you're having a slump, and another thing that helps for me, and because I do journal every day, I have several of this kind of book that I'm going to show you. They are books that are geared towards self-discovery. And I don't have that book, Wreck This Journal. I do have it somewhere. I must not have grabbed it. I should have grabbed it. I'm not real fond of that book. It's just not me. But some people find that following along in a book like this or like that one can give you some insight. And insight is what helps you to lead you back to your creativity. This one's called One Day at a Time. It's by Adam Kurtz. One Page at a Time. And this one has little places where you write stuff. Wait, don't post that. Write your angry status update below, and then a photo if you even want to anyone. Are we there yet? Okay. What are some things you can't buy at all? What are some things you can buy for $1? Snacks you can eat. Okay, they crossed out the carrot sticks. Everything on here is not good for you. Not healthy snacks, except carrot sticks, and they're crossed out. I don't ever write in these books. That's another thing I should tell you. I have several of these books, but I don't write in them. I actually, if I am having a bad spell, I will grab these books that I'm going to show you, and I'll pull them out, and I'll just open to a page. It's just paper. Tear this page in half. Well, I might do that in my journal, but who is the one person who you can always count on? Write down their phone number, address, email, birthday. I might write those things in my journal. I don't write in these books. Draw a rectangle, try to draw a square, good job. This is just one of those things I just don't write in because I like to, maybe I'll open to the same page another year. So that's one. This is called The Happiness Project, and I have another book just about like this. This is called One Question a Day, and a couple years ago on the Facebook group, I actually put these questions in every day for the year. And again, I don't write in these books, but sometimes it helps to just open one and write the answer in your journal or think about it. You don't have to write it down. Just because I keep a journal doesn't mean you have to. I mean, if you paint an art journal or play with paper or whatever, if you're stuck, sometimes a question can make you think. And if you think, then sometimes you get past whatever's making you stuck. So this one has, who's the star of your family? If you could read the future, would you? There's all kinds of questions in this book. This one's called The Happiness Project. And it's a little bit different in the fact that it says, of all the things that wisdom provides to help one live one's entire life in happiness, the greatest by far is the possession of friendship. Well, so these are more quotes, but then sometimes it asks you to do something, bring people together, make an introduction, arrange a blind date, give a reference. Carpenters fashion wood, Fletchers fashion arrows, and the wise fashion themselves. So sometimes it's a quote, sometimes it's a thing you should try to do. Well, you know, maybe you're not going to try to bring people together, but if you think about it, maybe it will help you. And that's how I use this kind of book. These, I just kind of open them, grab whatever quote, think about it. Maybe I'll write about it in my journal. Maybe I won't. Okay, there's a couple more books like that. Let me pull these out just a little differently. Okay. This one is one I got recently. It's 3,000 Questions About Me. And there again, when you're stuck and your muse isn't there, it's sometimes about not understanding where you're at. So sometimes this kind of book can help. The other thing is, if you do journal, sometimes you just don't know what to write about. And if I open one of these books, what is the most important thing you ever forgot? Okay. Where's the strangest place you've ever fallen asleep? Can you impersonate really well? Now, maybe if you like to draw and the strangest place you ever fallen asleep, you just draw that picture or cartoon it or something like that. There are lots and lots of books out there that kind of help with this. I bought this book specifically to ask my father questions a long time ago about his life. Unfortunately, I waited too late and his dementia had gotten too bad, and it just frustrated him. So it's not something that I have used very much, but it's something you might want to think about now, because you could be drawing little pictures or leaving information for your children or your grandchildren. And that's something that I try to work on in my journal. I don't necessarily work on it with my art, but if there again, self-discovery is always good when you're stuck. That's what I'm trying to say with these. To understand yourself is really important when your muse has left you. These two are list books, and there again, they are, this one's 52 Lists Project, A Year of Weekly Journaling Inspiration by Maura Seal, and this one is List Yourself by Eileen Seaglove and Paul Bielek. There again, I just open these, pick something. List all the extravagant material goods you'd buy if you had unlimited funds. Okay. Brother Scan and Cut. Okay. I guess maybe I don't think extravagantly, because that's about the most extravagant thing I can think of that I would want. That I don't know. Here lately I've wanted a motorcycle, and don't ask me why. That's a really silly thing to want. So maybe that, but it won't be something I buy. List the things you do between turning off the alarm and walking out your front door. Well, I don't go to work that way, so that doesn't help. List the major changes you feel you need to make in your life right now. Okay, get my creativity back. This one has actually got weekly lists, and it starts in the winter, so it's starting the first of the year. You can start it anywhere, but list your favorite characters from books, movies, etc. Well, you might want to draw one of those, but there again, these are about learning about yourself. I have two more books, and these are both books that I have picked up recently, and I haven't used a lot, but that I kind of like. This book is Start with Gratitude. There again, it's a journal that, you know, you can write in, and I don't write in, but I have opened this several times and written about things in my daily journal. I am most grateful for learning early on that a creative job was something I needed, and that even though I hit slumps, creativity is important in my life, and I will have a space and I will do it forever. Not being creative, being in that brace for 6 weeks where I couldn't move my hand, not being able to work in any shape or form, was a little hard for me. I went a little stir crazy, frankly. I do like to read, but you still can't, that not being able to be creative, even with plants outside or cooking a meal or anything like that, it was hard. It was very hard. I think that's part of my slump. Part of it's my studio. Part of it's the other things. There again, make sure what you do is keep going, keep making, keep writing, keep doing. This one's called Mindfulness in the Natural World, and I honestly have not had a chance to read this one yet. I got it recently, and I thought I was going to get to read while I was down with my shoulder, and holding a book was non-existent. So, and trying to turn pages and things like that. But I think it's going to be very interesting. And mindfulness is one thing that can truly help with your creativity. That much I can say. So, let's see. How did that go in there? I guess like this. This actually has a little journal that goes with it. I haven't made the decision to use this journal yet. And I have one more little fun thing. Oh, that is one thing that, just a minute, let me find the right book. That is one thing that this book has always been helpful for me in my little creative slumps. One of the things you have to do is to take a weekly, how do they do it? The basic tools are morning pages. I can't remember what she calls it. The artist date. That's what she calls it. The artist date. The other basic tool of the artist's way may strike you as a non-tool, a diversion. You may see clearly how morning pages could work, yet find yourself highly dubious about something called an artist date. I assure you, artist dates work too. Think of this combination of tools in terms of radio receiver and transmitter. It is a two-step, two-directional process. Out and then in. Doing your morning pages, you are sending, notifying yourself and the universe of your dreams, dissatisfactions, hopes. Doing your artist date, you are receiving, opening yourself to insight, inspiration, and guidance. An artist date is a block of time, perhaps 2 hours weekly, especially set aside and committed to nurturing your creative consciousness. This doesn't mean to doing your art. This means to nurture that part of yourself that's creative, your inner artist. In its most primary form, the artist date is an excursion, a play date that you can pre-plan and defend against all interlopers. You do not, this says you do not take anyone on an artist date but you and your inner artist. I often take my friends, my spouses, anybody. For one thing, I have found that, believe it or not, thrift store shopping makes me have ideas. When I see something in a thrift store, I will get ideas about how to use it. And that's true too with shopping. That can be a problem because you can end up like I have right now and have too much stuff and not enough time to do what I want to do with it. And also you get stuck because you have too much stuff. Too much stuff is a problem. This is the only thing that I have that is similar, in fact, to the artist date. And this is called, and I got these at a thrift store somewhere, 52 Silly Things to Do When You Are Blue. Okay, well, if you've lost your creative mojo, believe me, you're going to be blue. At least I am when I'm like that. 10 things to do, okay? Write down 10 places you've wanted to go and things you've wanted to do but just haven't gotten around to. Then look at the calendar and put a date next to each item on your list. Make sure you're doing something you enjoy once a week. Be a tourist. Be a tourist in your own town. Go someplace you've always considered a tourist trap and have consequently never gone to yourself. Allow yourself to be a tourist and enjoy something in your own town that previously you had written off. Ask a stranger to take your picture, and hey, while you're at it, be sure to buy a postcard. So you just pop this out and turn it over and see what it says. On different pieces of paper, write down 10 little treat coupons for yourself. Matinee movie. Pull the movie listings and head to the matinee. 52 silly things to do when you're... Oh, that's the actual front card. So, paint something. Doesn't mean you have to paint a painting. You could paint a chair. So, this kind of a thing. These are fun. I'm sure there's lots of other little card decks like this. I know that a lot of you use prompt cards when you are working in your art journals, and I don't, for some reason that, I'm sorry guys, for some reason that doesn't really appeal or work for me. I don't know why that is. It's just one of those things. But I hope if you're stuck, or if you get stuck in the future, maybe something like these books will give you an idea and help you on that road. I'm sorry this got to be such a long video, but I had a lot I wanted to show you, and I'm sure I have other books and other things that help. I'm sure that sitting on my bedside table where I read at night, that there's more. You know, this is just what I collected from different places in my studio. So now I'm going to tell you, remember, no matter what, if you're stuck, just keep doing it. It doesn't have to be good every single time. You just have to do it. That's the only way to keep moving forward. So with that, I'm going to say go have fun. Make some art. Bye-bye.